Pau, nay, Laurent, more in fire than blood shall be. Lauda to swim, the great ones flee to the Sures. Entry refused to the Agassas. Pampon and the Durance, keeping them confined. Condom and Auch and about Mirande. I see a fire from heaven encompassing them. Sun and Mars in conjunction with the Lion, then Marmande. Lightning, great hail, walls fall into the Garonne. In the strong castle of Vigilance and Révier, the young prince is kept. Within Turin, the first ones burned, when Lyon, overwhelmed with sorrow. The cock received into Monaco. The Cardinal of France appears. He is deceived by the Roman legation. Weakness to the eagle and strength to the cock will grow. There appears a shining, ornate temple. The lamp and the candle at Borne and Breteuil. For Lucerne, the canton turned aside. When one sees the great cock in his coffin. A thundering light at Lyon appearing, shining. Malta is taken, extinguished suddenly. Sardon treats Maurice deceitfully. Geneva at London. To cock, treason feigned. Vercelli, Milan, gives intelligence. In Ticine, the wound is made. Blood coursing through the Seine waters, fire through Florence. The one and only falls from high to low, calling for help. Near Linterne, in barrels closed, Chivas, plotting for the eagle. The elected one driven out, he and his people shut up. Within Turin, wife abducted and taken away. The eagle and the cock at Savona are united. See, Levant and Hungary. The army at Naples, Palermo, the Mark of Ancon, Rome and Venice. Horrid barbarian cries. The great stench out of Lausanne, but they do not know its origin. They put out all people from distant places. Fire seen in the sky. A foreign people defeated. A multitude of people appearing at Vicence. Without force, fire burning near the basilic. Near Lugano, the great one of Valence is defeated. During that, Venice, by more killing, takes up the quarrel. He appears near to Buffalora. the high and tall entering into Milan, the Abbot of Foix with those of Saint-Maur, clothed like rogues making trumpery. The Crusader brother, through unbridled love, causes Bellerophon to die through Proitus. Army for 1,000 years. The woman passionate. The potion drunk. Both thereafter perish. The great credit, the abundance of silver and gold, greed blinding honor. The offense of the adulterer becomes known, which comes to greatly dishonor. Towards the north, great endeavors by a virile woman, vexing Europe and almost all the universe. She puts to flight the two eclipses, reinforcing life and death to the Pannon. In the place where Hieron had his ship built, so sudden and so great a flood, that there be neither place nor land to save themselves. The waves rising upon the Olympic Fesulan. Those at ease suddenly cast down. The world troubled by three brothers. The maritime city by enemies seized. Hunger, fire, blood, plague, evils doubled. The cause of her death is issued from Florence, once before drunk by young and old. For the three lilies they give much reflection, saved by her fruit, as raw flesh dead. Supporting the great troubled cape, to solve the red ones marching, a family almost overcome by death. The red ratifies the reddest red. False rumors from rigged election flow. Throughout the city, broken, the pact is stopped. Voices bought, chapels stained with blood. The empire contracted to another one. Three craft entering the port of Agde, carrying not the faith, but infection and disease. Passing the bridge, they carry off 1,000 thousands. Bridge broken at third defense. Coursin, Narbonne, by the salt warns Tuchan, the Grace, Perpignan betrayed, the Red Town giving no consent, by High Voldrap, Grey, life ended. Letters found in the Queen's coffers, no signature, no name of the author. By policy, the offers concealed, so that nobody knows who the lover is. the lieutenant at the door's entry, knocking down the Great One of Perpignan, thinking to save himself at Montpertuis. The bastard of Lusignan is deceived. Lover's heart opened by furtive love. The dame ravished in the brook, lustful, counterfeits half a discontent. The father deprives both bodies of their souls. Of Caton found in Barcelona, put, discovered, place soiled and ruined. The Great One who holds and does not hold once Pamplona, by the Abbey of Montserrat, missed. The way Auxerre, one arch upon the other, deserted place, except save those bravest born. The inscription of the Phoenix of the Emperor, in it seen by one, that to none other is. The images inflated with gold and silver, abducted and thrown into lake of fire. At the discovery, they are all seriously disturbed. On marble inscribed, dictates. At the fourth pillar devoted to Saturn, split by a tremulous sea and land, an urn found underneath Saturn's edifice of Scipion's stolen gold, then handed over. Within Toulouse, not far from Belusser, digging a well for the Palace of Spectacle, a treasure found that vexes everyone. In two places, in and near the Vassacle. First great fruit of the Prince of Peschiera becomes very cruel and malicious. In Venice he loses his proud glory, and put to evil by then younger Celine. French king, beware of your nephew, who your only son will murder, while making his vows to Venus, accompanied at night with 3 and 6. The Great One of Verona and Vicenza is born, who bears a very unworthy surname, who endeavor at Venice to avenge himself, captured by the watchman's sign. Victory of the lion against the lion. Great slaughter upon Jura's mount. Washed out and stumbling the 7th million. Lyon, Ulm, at mausoleum, death and tomb. Within the entrance of Garonne and Bèze, and the forest not far from Damazan, marshes freeze, hail and north wind, Dordogne frozen by the error of Mézanne. Committed against the Duchy of Saône and Saint-Aubin and Belle-Èvre, to pave with marble taken from towers well picked, not resisting Blétéran's masterpiece. The strong fortress near the Thames falls with the king trapped inside. He is seen near the bridge in his shirt, in front one dead. Then barred inside the fortress. The king of Blois in Avignon reigns once again over the people as one. Inside the Rhone, by the walls, making to bathe as many as 5, the last one near of Nol. What belongs to a Byzantium prince is taken by the Prince of Toulouse. The faith of Foix by the chief of Toulousain fails him, yet not refusing the bride. The blood of the just by Thor and Ladorade, to avenge themselves against the Saturnins. In the new lake they immerse the Maenad. They are marching against the Albanians. A fox elected, not speaking a word, appearing a public saint, living on barley bread, suddenly tyrannizing, putting his foot on the throats of the greatest. Through avarice, through force and violence, vexing his own chiefs of Orléans. Near Saint-Mesmin, assault and resistance. Dead in his tent. They say he is sleeping. By 2 bastard decisions, blood nephew occupying the throne. Blows of darts within lectoire. Fearful nephew folds his ensign. The natural begotten of Augmion, from 7 to 9, diverts out of the way, to king of Long, and friend of the half-man, ought to Navarre, prostrate the fort of Pau. The hand in a scarf and the leg bandaged, the younger brother of Calais reaching far. On the word of the watch, the death delayed. Then at Easter, in the church, blood flows. Paul Monsolet dies 3 leagues from Rhône. The next 2 flee the Tarasque Straits, for Mars makes such a horrible throne. Of cock and eagle, of France, 3 brothers. Lake Trasimene bears witness of the conspirators shut up in Perugia. A despot imitating the sage, killing the Tedesque of threat and menace. Saturn in Cancer, Jupiter with Mars. In February, Chalondon, Salvaterra, Saut-Castellon, assailed on 3 sides. Near Briviesca, fighting and mortal war. Saturn in Taurus, Jupiter in water, Mars in arrow. the 6th of February giving death. Those of Tardane making so great a breach at Bruges that the barbarian chief dies at Ponterose. The plague around Cappadia, another famine near to Sagunto, the night bastard of the good old man beheads the great one of Tunis. The Byzantine takes Cordoba to himself and makes a religious offering. Long journey, his rest and contemplation. At sea, passing prey is taken by Carogne. The King of Blois rules in Avignon. He comes from Amboise and Sèvres, the length of the Indre. At Talon at Poitiers, ruining holy wings before Bonny. Within Boulogne he is desirous to wash away his misdeeds in the Church of the Sun, but not be able. He makes fly to matters so high, never an equal in the hierarchy. Under the color of the marriage treaty, a magnanimous act by the great lunar Céline, Quintine and Arras, on the journey recovering. Of Spaniards made a second butcher's block. Sees himself enclosed between two rivers, joining casks and barrels together to cross, 8 bridges broken, chief trapped and chained. Perfect children, their throats cut. The weak party occupies the land, those of high places making dreadful cries, troubling the great flock in the right corner. Tomb di Nebro, the writings discovered. From simple soldier he attains to empire, from the short robe to the long one, valiant in arms, much worse to church, vexes the priests as sponge does to water. A kingdom in dispute divided between brothers, taking the arms and name of Britain. Anglican title advised too late. Night surprise and carried into the French air. Twice set high, twice cast down. The east, also the west, weakens. After many battles, his adversary, chased out by sea, failed in time of need. Premier in France, premier in Romania, by sea and land to the Anglo-Parisienne. Marvelous deeds by that great company. Violent monster loses Lorraine. Never by the discovery of day, never to attain the sign of the scepter bearer, till all his sieges be settled, carrying to the cock the gift of Taj gold. When one sees the holy temple despoiled, the greatest of their own, and their sacred things profaned. Through them born a very great pestilence. The king does not condemn the unjust. The adulterer is wounded without a blow, has murdered the wife and son by spite, the woman knocked senseless, the child strangled, 8 captives taken, smothered without respite. Inside the islands, the children transported. The 2 of 7 are in despair. Those of the soil are supported by it. The name Spade taken, the hope of the leagues fails. The old man, frustrated of his principal hope, attains to the head of his empire. 20 months he keeps the kingdom with great power. Tyrant, cruel, left to one worse. When the inscription DM is found and an ancient vault discovered lit, Law, King and Prince Ulpian tried, the Queen and Duke in the pavilion under cover. Par car nersaf to ruin, great discord. Neither one nor the other elects, nersaf of the people, love and concord. Ferrar, Cologne, great protection. The old cardinal, deceived by the young one, sees himself out of his office, appearing destitute. Arles do not show that the double is perceived, and Liquiduct and the prince embalmed. Beside the young one, the old angel bows and comes to overcome him in the end. 10 years equal to make the old one stoop. Of 3, 2, 1, the 8th seraphim. He enters, ugly, mean, infamous, to tyrannize Mesopotamia. All friends made of the whore, horrid mound, black of aspect. The number of astronomers grows so great that they are driven out, banished books censured. The year 1607 by sacred councils, none safe from the sacred ones. Oh, what an enormous defeat on the Perugian field, and the battle about Ravenna. Sacred passage, feast then celebrated. Vanquisher vanquished, horse flesh to eat. A barbarian soldier strikes the great king unjustly to death almost. The avaricious mother is the deed's cause, conspirator, and kingdom in great remorse. A king enters far into a new country. His subjects make welcome. His treachery has such an encounter that to the citizens instead feast and welcome. The father and son murdered together, the persecutor in his tent, the mother at Tours pregnant with a son, hidden under green leaves and pieces of paper. More butcher than king in England, born of obscure place, by force reigning, coward, without faith, without law, the land bleeds. His time is drawing so near that I sigh for it. The Antichrist 3 very soon annihilates. His bloody war lasts 27 years. The heretics dead, captives banished, bloody human bodies, red water, hail upon the earth. A bragamas with a crooked tongue into the sanctuary of the gods. He opens the gates to heretics, provoking the militant church. He who loses his father by sword, born in Nonner, of Gorgon conceives anew. On foreign soil makes all so silent, who burns himself and his child. The blood of innocents, widow and virgin, so many evils committed by means of the great red. Holy icons dipped in candle flames, terrified in fear, no one seen to move. The new empire in desolation, changed by the northern pole. The commotion comes from Sicily, troubling the enterprise, dependent to Philip. Long emaciated, playing the good valet, in the end has nothing but his leaf, piercing poison and letters in his collar, he seized, escaping into danger. The greatest sail out of the port of Zara, Byzantium near making of his enterprise. Of the enemy losses, no friend. The 2 and 3 making great pillage and capture. Paterno hears the cry from Sicily. All the preparations in the Gulf of Trieste are heard as far as Trinacria. Of all the sails, flee, flee the horrid pestilence. Between Bayonne and Saint-Jean-de-Luz is laid the promontory of Mars. From the Hunnics of the north, Nanar takes away the light, then suffocates in bed without aid. Through Hernani, Tolosa, and Villafranca, an infinite band by the mountain of Adrian, crossing rivers, struggling upon the bridge and plank, coming all into Bayonne, crying, Bichoro! Death conspired comes to full effect. Charge given and voyage of death. chosen, created, received, by himself undone. Innocent blood before remorseful faith. Into Sardinia, a noble king who holds the kingdom only 3 years. Many colors ally to him. Himself afterwards, anxious, restless sleep, angry and remorseful. Lest not he fall unto the hands of his uncle, who killed his children by to rule, pleasing the people, putting foot upon Peloncle, dead and drawn among armored horses. When a crusader is found, senses troubled, in a sacred place, a horned bull seen, then a pig takes and fills the virgin's hole. No order maintained by the king. Entering in through the fields of the Rhone, where those of the cross almost united, the meeting of 2 brassiers in Pisces, and a great number punished by a flood. Far from the kingdom, a hazardous journey undertaken, he leads a great army made his own. The king holds his people captive, plundering the whole country on his return. "7 months without the prelacy secure, by his death arises great schism. 7 months another holding as prelate. Near Venice, peace and union are reborn. Before the lake wherein most deer was thrown, of 7 months and his army overthrown, Spaniards overthrown by those of Alba, by delay in giving battle, loss. This seducer placed into the pit and bound fast for some time. The clerk joins the chief with his cross, sharp right, drawing in the contented. The synagogue barren, without fruit. Received by the infidels, the daughter of Babylon pursued, miserable and sad. They clip her wings. At the end of the Var, the great powers change. Near the shore, 3 fair children born. Ruin to the people when they are of competent age. They change the realm and seem to grow. The blood of churchmen spilt as water in such abundance, and for a long time it was not restrained. Woe, alas, the clergy ruined and grieving. By the power of the 3 temporal kings, the holy seat put in another place, where the substance of the corporeal spirit restored and received as the true seat. By the abundance of tears shed, high and low, low and high, too great a faith for God loses life, of thirst to die from plentiful fault.